So, all right. Of course, Robert Kraft denied he would appeal the 4-game suspension for Tom Brady. So, what overall did we learn from this? Because my thing is, for 4 months we've been talking about a deflated ball, allegedly, that was doctored by some ball boys that Tom Brady knew about. So, I mean, looking at this whole thing from a 4-month spectrum, this is really ridiculous. Like, we've been talking about this in the biggest media spotlights
Even
for so long.
when the Patriots went to the White House, which Tom Brady, I don't think he made it.
Yeah, he didn't.
Barack Obama made a joke about it, talking about it. I mean, he made a little small joke about it. And if he's talking about it, I mean, the whole world's talking about it. I just think what this does to the NFL, it tarnishes their integrity a little bit.
The shield
that they have, and especially the Patriots. I mean, they've always been speculated of cheating. I mean, with Spygate, we remember that. And a couple of other things. I remember the tuck rule, or even this in the playoffs when they were playing against the Ravens and they ran that trick play. That kind of bent the rules, which is, I think now it's been ruled as illegal to run that same play. I think what we learned from this was just that the Patriots, they had it coming to them.
Yeah, what we've learned is the Patriots are always going to be criticized and they're always going to be questioned about, are they abiding by the rules? And we've heard Hall of Famers speak about this, former players. I think Tom Brady was actually guilty, but I feel like they didn't have enough evidence for him to say that I'm guilty, which is why he didn't want to give up his cell phone. So it's kind of like, why don't you want to give up your cell phone? All you have to do is show them that one thread of messages or a couple of messages. You don't have to show them anything else, because I mean, everybody has their own personal phone. I mean, nobody wants to turn over their personal information. But all you to make this whole thing much more simple than it wasn't. Tell them, these are the text messages. This is what we talked about. Tell Roger Goodell, let Robert Kraft know, and then you can put it all in front of each other and say, this is what happened and this is what I didn't do. None of that happened, which made this process so long. There was, they're saying we're going to do this, but we don't want to do that. It took longer. It took way longer than it should have, and it took away from the brand of football. I mean, it really embarrassed the league in the Shield, but it also proved that Tom Brady is not bigger than what people may think. He is no bigger than the league. Nobody is. And this definitely proves that.
Yes, I mean, with the 4-game suspension, I think that's, and what did they lose? Like a first-round pick in next year's draft?
Two draft picks, and they have to pay $1 million fine.
On top of that. Yeah, I mean, I think the punishment is enough. For 4 games sounds enough for me, as long as they do go through it. I know there's, after yesterday, that Robert Kraft decided to drop the appeal, or if there ever was one. Roger Goodell went out and said that it wouldn't affect the punishment on Tom Brady, that the 4 games would still last, and that since they dropped the appeal, wouldn't favor Tom Brady at all. So we'll have to see how that turns out also, in order for us to really decide on how this affects them. But I think the Patriots, now since with them being seen as cheaters, I don't think people will take them as seriously as far as their championships and as far as the legacy that they'll leave behind after they have this staining that whole legacy.
Well, yeah, here's my whole thing. Even though this has come up, Tom Brady is still arguably one of the best NFL players to ever play the game, quarterback or every position in all. Yep. He's still one of the best players, but there are going to be those questions and concerns of, did he follow the rules? Does he really deserve this? To me, Tom Brady is still first ballot Hall of Fame. No question.
No questions.
I mean, those 4 rings, I would never try to take away from that. But although throughout the process of his career, there are still going to be those questions. Did he follow the rules? Did he have to get that extra edge with Bill Belichick, being, the genius that he is and understanding the game of football, always wanting that extra edge. Yeah. But,
I mean, for me, you could give that same deflated ball to Tim Tebow, and he still would have put up the same numbers that Tom Brady would put up.
Right. But the only reason this is escalated to what it was is because it's the New England Patriots.
Exactly. And it's Tom Brady. Yeah. I think people just don't like perfection, and that's why when something's going so well, they're always skeptical as to all right, what's going on here? And now that they've found an uninflated football, he's still, I mean, the accuracy doesn't increase, I don't think. You picking a receiver to throw it to, that doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, Tom Brady still had a decision to make during each play.
Right, exactly. But with a ball that's not increased to the NFL standard. I played quarterback in high school, so when you hold the ball, it's easier to grip, in difficult conditions as far as weather conditions. So it is easier. I think it's easier to be more accurate, but I mean, at the same time, it's air in a football. Like, it didn't determine. I don't think it determined the game with the Indianapolis Colts and the Patriots. Like, the game was 45-7.
Yeah.
It would be different if it was, close 28-7, 24-20.
Something closer. With a touchdown.
28-21 or something like that. But
yeah, the fact that it was a blowout, I still don't think. I mean, unless the Patriots filmed their practices too and they had some other ways to cheat. But that's not what's being argued here. This is all about the underinflated football. I do think, going forward from here on out, the league will take harsher punishments for teams that do decide to partake in this. I know the Falcons got in trouble for the fake stadium noise in Cleveland. I know one of their guys got suspended for a couple of games too, one of their high officials. Yeah. We take this back to the Saints when they got
indicted.
Sean Payton was suspended for the whole season. So I think from here on out, there's going to be like a zero tolerance policy as far as cheating goes, and I mean, it takes situations like these for this to happen. And I mean, with it being the Patriots and a team that like everybody knows about at the very least, since it was one of their major teams, the NFL's major teams, that's why this all.
Yeah, and a lot of people in Boston and Massachusetts, they would say that Robert Kraft sold out. I don't think he sold out. I think he just did what's best for his team and for the sake of his reputation in the league, because he's the most prominent owner in the NFL. He probably has the best relationship with Roger Goodell. I think it was kind of a pride, maybe an ego killer for the Patriots, but I think they probably talk with some of the owners behind closed doors or off the record, like, yo, you got to take this. You got to take this L and just deal with it, man, because, this proves once again no individual is bigger than the league itself. It's $1 billion industry, and with Roger Goodell appealing, denying to appeal, I don't think he left Tom Brady hanging. I just think it's better to.
It was the right decision.
Yeah, right.
This settles the dust. This leaves everything on the way it is. There's going to be no more questions. I mean, because to this point, for the most part, everybody has their general understanding of what went down and what happened. Although nothing concrete as far as details. I mean, we did see some text messages.
Yeah, right.
But I think, Robert Kraft and Roger Goodell decided to just drop everything, accept everything as how it happened, and they're just trying to move forward.
And even today, Darrelle Revis came out with some quotes from a radio station. This was in the New York Daily News by Manish Mehta. Hope I said that right. And I quote, "New England's been doing this stuff in the past, and they've been getting in trouble with it. When stuff repeatedly happens, then that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. Stuff repeatedly happens throughout the years. You got Spygate, you got this and that and everything else. Obviously, in those situations in the past, they had the evidence, so they did what they needed to do." He just walked up out of there.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's kind of throwing them, a little like, y'all might not have the concrete evidence, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna allude and indirectly
There's
say,
going on.
Yeah, because when he was with the Jets, that was their rivalry. So it's kind of still a little animosity between those two, even though they joined up last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like taking it like a Babe Ruth kind of thing with like a New York Boston kind of thing, as far as the Jets go and New England being in Boston, starting that whole rivalry again. Yeah. One player plays for the Patriots because Darrelle Revis he played for the Jets before, and he always disliked the Patriots. And now that he joined them and he won a championship with them, I mean, it was a mutual benefit for the player and the team, like Darrelle Revis and the Patriots. But now, I think he's trying to sparkle that rivalry again.
Yeah, it might be that, but Darrelle Revis is a guy who's always he's always done things to benefit him and gives him more attention and whatever the case may be. He is a businessman, but I think some of this has to do with I kind of want some love. I think he kind of wants some love, and he's getting that. So,
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to say he threw the Patriots under the bus, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh man, well, you just walked up out of there, so you might know a little bit more about the whole thing.
So explain.
Explain. Have a seat. Explain.
Which I think, if you're going to make statements like the ones that he made, he should at least maybe not in the foreseeable future elaborate on why he said the things that he just said right now. Which eventually I think it will come with all the questions and it being the Patriots, and then the media's going to try to get something out of him more than what he already said, and that's, I think, where that's going to head from here on out.
Listen to Primetime Sportz Radio, 88.5 WRAS.